Alright, for today's video, I'm doing a rebuild of this heater valve. It's from a 1995 E34 BMW 525i, and it's kind of a easy process, but not really well documented, at least from what I could find. So, first things first, you pull your heater valve. There are 3 nuts. 1, 2, 3. It's mounted in the car, straight up and down like this. The hose connection, there's one to the water pump. These are the valves that go up to the heater core, and that's what does the circulation. And then there's a third port on the heater core coming out of the firewall. That one goes to the engine. So what you will need in terms of tools: 9-volt battery, 2 wires. These are actually both been D-pinned Molex connectors, so they have both ends, the male and the female end. A heater valve rebuild kit, a T10 Torx, and wherever it went to is a small screwdriver, flat bladed, for removing one of the covers. But in a pinch, a knife will work just fine too. So first things first, what I would like to do is test out the heater valve. There are 3 pins. This one, I believe, is the ground, and then this is the left and right solenoid. So the nice thing is, with the Molex connectors, they fit on perfectly. And with that, you're able to test with either a 12-volt power supply or a 9-volt battery to see if they click. Once you have them connected, you should be able to hook them to the 9-volt battery temporarily. And as you can see, though, I'm not getting any clicking. So that kind of worries me, either that the inside of it is very dirty, or physically the solenoids are not working. Regardless, though, I do have another heater valve already in the car, so it's not that big of a deal if it doesn't work. So here's the next thing. You want to remove the 6 screws on the heater valve. There's 1 here, 2, 3, 4, which is, you can't see it in the light, 5, and 6. Once you get those off, then we're going to separate the heater valve. Alright, so now I got all 6 screws out. The next thing you want to do is turn it so it's facing upside down, and then we'll be using the screwdriver or pry tool to remove the 2 halves of the heater valve. If possible, what you want to do is pry between this plastic surface and this metal surface. Otherwise, you risk damaging the solenoid wiring if you pry on the bottom surface, because it will separate those, because the solenoid wiring is contained in here. So that would not be a good thing. It's a little hard to do, but it is doable to separate these 2 halves. There it goes. So I was able to take the screwdriver in here, which this is the small screwdriver. I was able to pry those 2 surfaces apart. And what you want to do is now work around the full body of it and then keep on prying. Right, so I got it pried loose, and now you just wiggle it, and hopefully there it goes, and you'll be left with these 2 halves. Right, so I got the 2 halves apart. You can see that it is pretty bad. The seals are just completely gone, and it is completely filled with debris. So this heater valve literally is seized together. It is so bad. I can't now move these plungers at all, which these do come out this way. So it looks like this may be a total loss. Alright, so if you guys were following, so I had to go get another heater control valve from the junkyard. Because of the previous one, it was just so far gone, I could not even separate it entirely. So here's another one that I got. Let's go through the same procedure. It looked good, and when I shook it, it did rattle. So that means it's not seized together like the other one. So if I'm not mistaken, what I do next is I'm going to plug in this to a 9-volt battery and test each of the leads and see if I do get any response out of them. So with that, the center one here should be the ground, and the left and right one should be positive for each of the sides. So this kind of takes two hands to do, but I can attempt it. Another handy dandy method you could use is a bench tester. This one is made out of a power supply, and I have the two leads here that are plugged into a Molex connector. In case you don't know, the yellow is 12 volts, the two blacks are grounds, and red is 5.5 volts. So you can go ahead and plug this in to your heater valve if you don't have a 9-volt battery, and that will do the trick as well. So now I shall demonstrate what it should sound like whenever you do connect it to the power supply. So you should get this sound. That's the one on the left. Let me go ahead and test the one on the right. Alright, so here we go. I'm going to go ahead and connect this up. So all I'm doing is unplugging it and plugging it back in, so it's not like a constant connection. So I get both left and right channels, or left and right solenoids are operating normally. So I'll go ahead and take this one apart and see what I can do with it. Alright, now that we did test the control valve and the heater, control valve to see that it is working, I'm going to go ahead and disassemble the unit. Here we go. Alright, so this is what we are left with right now. It looks like this unit is actually in pretty good shape compared to the other one, but the seals are still rotten, so they will definitely need replacement. Alright, this is a lot better shape than the other one for sure. Already, these can come out. They just pull right up. They may need some help with a screwdriver. They will go right out like that. There are two seals in there. These actually look to have been replaced at one time, possibly. But you can go ahead and take your pinky or a small screwdriver and they should pop out like so. But it is fighting me to come out. This right here, this assembly, these come right out. And this whole unit actually pops right off with a little bit of force. You do have to separate it from the bottom half to actually get it loose, and I'll go ahead and do that now. Alright, so I got half of it free right now. As you can see here, I was able to pry this part, this solenoid from the base, but this one still has some time to go. I need to get my screwdriver in between those, and then this will pop free. Alright, so I got the other side free. Just to let you know, this is probably going to be the most difficult part of this endeavor, other than removing it from the car. Because the one side was really, just came apart really freely, and the other side took me about 15 to 20 minutes to pry loose. And I just had to do a combination of just using that as a point to leverage, and just kind of jamming the screwdriver in there and hoping for the best. It's probably a little bit of a better way to do it, but that's how I have kind of done it in the past. So the next step is actually getting this off, and it should lift right off. Alright, now that you got everything apart, what you want to do is replace the two seals on here, and the two seals that are on here. I already took those off, so those are good. Let me go ahead and get these out. They will look like this, and they will go on just like that, centered with the hole. These brown seals will go the opposite end onto here. And then, of course, these seals right here will go in this unit. And I'll go ahead and show that to you now. Alright, so since I'm here, I went ahead and made a liberty of doing the different O-rings and seals side by side. That is the old one. As you can see, it's pretty flattened. It's also kind of not really gummy anymore. Here's the new one. Here is the old one of these, which I am very surprised by. Which also explains why my heater valve is probably not working in my BMW. As you can see, one is a lot taller than the other. The old one is actually taller. So that may lead to me to believe that that would cause some problems with the heater working when you don't want it to, which I am currently having a problem with. And then finally, there's the old and there's the new. That's the main one you're going to find that goes bad, is this one out of all the others. Alright, so the For the new one, it just slides on there like this, and that's it. This piece, by the way, is the one that gets pulled off. Whenever you do pull that off, by the way, there are these brass plungers that are in the solenoids. Don't lose these, and definitely do not lose the springs. That is part of the mechanism and very important. But also, whenever you do put it in, I will show you what to do next. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like if you once you put the pins back in. These are going to be a little tricky. You have to push them over these pins here, and what these do is they will slide up and down with electric current. So you got to make sure those are good on there. Once you do have that, go ahead and take your brass pins. Let me go ahead and get them from the bag. And you put the brass pins in there like this, and this is what controls the flow. Is one of the things. So go ahead, and when you do have these out, by the way, clean both this and this up. Okay, that's what it should look like when it is fully assembled. Next thing you want to do, go ahead and put your new seals into this unit. You want to have them facing this way, and they just go in there like that. And then make sure you push them all the way down. Then this piece right here goes in this way, and it should look a little something like that. And make sure, of course, that the outlet hole and this do line up, because there is only one way these can go in properly. All right, now that you have that done, go ahead and assemble the unit. These marks right here go with the solenoids themselves, so that's where the wiring kind of holds itself in place. Then once you do have that down, you'll go ahead and have to flip it over, and then you run all 6 screws in. And then what you can do is plug in your power source and test it out again. By the way, this kit does come with this extra O-ring right here. I actually don't know what it's for. I did see if it was for the auxiliary water pump, but it is too big for that. But I guess for right now it is an extra. So I don't want to lie to you guys, but sadly this DIY video didn't go as well as I planned. I had this problem with the last solenoids, as you know, or the last heater valve, as you know, that the solenoids were stuck together and corroded so badly that they wouldn't work. This one had a different case. The solenoids were stuck so badly that they disintegrated whenever I tried to separate them so I could reseal them internally. As you can kind of see in the light, the insides of these are very, very corroded, and I'm surprised that they even worked in that case, because water or coolant had been in them for so long that they kind of just ate away and seized everything together in terms of to that brass plate. So, as things to watch out for, if they don't want to separate, just don't even try to do them. It's probably not worth it, especially if it's your only heater valve. This is heater valve number 2 I pulled in the junkyard, by the way. I had one that was successfully fine. It was from a 95. This one was from a 93, and it was bad. And the original one that was in my car was so bad, as you saw, that it was just a totally lost cause. I didn't even bother trying to take it apart. So yeah, just a note, it's not a 100% success rate. Sometimes you may get lucky, sometimes you may not. And also, as I found out making this video, I was wondering why my heater valve rebuild didn't work as well as I planned it to. And I saw that the actual upper pieces that actually control the flow were too short compared to the original ones. So I'll go ahead and probably be taking my other one apart again and seeing what I can do with that. But that is going to be it for this video. Just let me know what you think, and have a great January 1st. That's when I had made this video, so that's new video for 2019. I also have a lot of other cool things coming up that I want to show you guys. So for now, that will be it, and have a good one.